I'm sorry, be mad with me all you want, but it's gonna be too goddamn hot this summer to be fat. If y'all hoes is still fat, this tea is still for sale. Drop down in the description box and click the link to purchase this and other fine weight loss products so you could be cool this summer and not smelling like beached whale cause you hot and sweating in places that we didn't even know existed. Bye. Sha'carri Richardson. The dust has finally settled on the situation, so now we're able to have a robust conversation. How do you feel about it? Want to talk about it? Here it go. So Nessa girl, I'm calling you from my bedroom because Oliver is in town for swim week and he's staying in my guest bedroom where the green screen is. And he got shit all over the damn place. Makeup and bonnets and hair pieces and swimsuits and all this other damn stuff. So I figured I'd just call y'all from my bedroom. But Sha'carri Richardson, I got up early this morning and I was scrolling through IG and I saw that Anthony Mackie was hosting the ESPN Awards and she was there and the spirit said, Q, it's finally time to talk about it. Now, I purposely stayed away from this topic because the black community as a whole was just very emotional about it. Everybody was invested and involved. Everybody had an opinion. And I just didn't want to get into it with y'all. Like, to be honest, I didn't want to be stressed out getting into it with y'all. But now that the dust is settled, we've got the final verdict. She won't be participating in the Olympics. I think, it's time that we can now have a robust conversation. So I want to start out by saying a lot of y'all confuse the why and the what. The what is Sha'carri got disqualified from participating in the Olympics, and the why is because she broke the rules of her sport, right? Like, that is where it starts and stops. Now, for some of y'all, it gets a little more nuanced because y'all want to introduce the fact that, she was just smoking weed. She was smoking weed to cope with the death of her mother. Weed is illegal in most of the states, in the United States. Weed is becoming a big business. All of these different things y'all want to introduce. And trust me, I agree. I 100% agree. But it does not change the why and the what. Regardless of what we feel about weed, regardless of her reason for doing it, she still broke the rules concerning the law around her sport. And for those of y'all who are really harping on this, she smoked weed to cope with the death of her mother. To be honest with you, um, I don't believe that. I believe that was a half-ass way of taking accountability, um, because that statement suggests I don't do this any other time. I found out my mama died and I smoked it to calm my nerves. Now y'all know good in that. Y'all know better than that. Y'all know better than that. You know what I'm saying? She smokes weed. Cool. I smoke it. I'm not passing judgment. But this whole I I did it because my mama died. I'm sure you did. I'm sure you did to take the edge off. But you did it before then too, and probably before then too, just because it was the weekend. So miss me with that. I definitely think the rules need to change, right? Because marijuana is not a sports enhancing drug. And Anthony Mackie told a joke where he said, if anything, it's a sports dehancing drug. That when you smoke, all you want to do is sit down and watch another episode of Bob's Burgers and eat, which is the truth. But let's not pretend like we are not accustomed across our judicial system, across our government laws and policies. with outdated, antiquated laws. Yes, the weed and the marijuana clause or policy in their rule book is outdated. Ain't no telling when this rule book was created and when marijuana was tossed in there. But in 2021, weed is no longer drugs. Like, I was born in 1983, and when I was growing up, weed was considered drugs. Bitch, you were on drugs. If you smoked weed, you were on drugs. Or like my aunt and my grandma say that, reefer. You were on drugs. That was the attitude of American society at that time, with the exception of the hippies and people who were more progressive and people in the urban areas. Since then, attitudes and opinions have changed as old heads have died out. But the rules have not caught up yet. And until they catch up, you have got to abide by the rules and the law of the land. Okay? Um, Here's why I want us to be careful with the, she did it because of her mom died excuse. It's a very slippery slope, right? Because if you remember the movie John Q, where Denzel Washington was held up in that damn bank or hospital or wherever the hell he was, um, because his son was dying, and he did it until that. You know what I'm saying? Like, where does it stop? Oh, don't put me in jail. I robbed a bank because we needed $200,000 for my son's heart transplant. That's the same difference. The situation definitely explains the desperation. So are we supposed to get in our emotions in that situation and completely negate the fact that this person broke the law? And again, y'all don't attack me. I'm on y'all side. I personally too think it's just weed. All right? It's not that serious. I'm a heavy drinker. After drinking 2 drinks, I am not drunk and very capable of driving. But if I blow in that thing, bitch, I'm getting a DUI. Hence, I don't drive when I go down to the bar with a Honda Cosby. I Uber. Because I know I can't say to the officer, I just had 2 drinks. I'm not drunk. Because I'm going to blow in that thing. The law is the law. And people got to understand, you got to separate your feelings from the law. Just because you feel something, don't change the law. I hate it. You know, other nuances that we can throw in there and explore. She's young. She's a product of her environment, so on and so forth. Um, y'all gonna eat me up for? I'm not even gonna do it. I was about to share some personal intel um, that I received from somebody very close to her and the situation. Um, and let me just say this: like, all ain't what it seems. Um, I'm gonna leave it at that because I already know that y'all are very sensitive about this subject, and I don't want to add to anybody's angst. And God knows, on this beautiful Sunday, I'm not in the mood for y'all with this he hate black women shit, and he always down in a black woman or whatever. Because these days you can't tell the truth about a black woman or provide any critique without the angry black woman mob coming behind you. So I'm just gonna leave that at that. But it sucks. Um, this was the one point that I wanted to make. The one reason that I did finally decide to speak out on the Sha'carri situation is because she did one thing that I didn't like. When Gabby Douglas tweeted, you know, pretty much, black people, please don't boycott the Olympics, that there are so many other athletes there that deserve your support. it really got under my skin that Shacarri went behind that and basically was like, sis, don't get mad because um all the fans are supporting me or whatever the case may be. Um Something to that effect. I'm paraphrasing, but she was like, basically, I brought all these eyeballs to the Olympics because of my whatever in track, and basically, don't be mad that I'm the fan favorite. I didn't like that. I didn't like that because at the end of the day, you're celebrating, meaning Sha'carri, you're celebrating people backing you in a situation where your ass was in the wrong. Okay, and again, y'all, no matter if it's just weed, I agree, it's just weed. But the same argument could be made for the rules. It's just the rules. It's just the rules. You have to follow the rules of your sport. And I get it. She's young. She will grow from this. I hope she continues to train. I hope she continues to whatever. I hope in 4 years that she's still able to be and do everything she can. The beautiful thing about it is, Olympics or not, you know, she seems to be getting a lot of notoriety and getting noticed in a lot of places. And this is the one situation where infamy is actually working in her favor. From my understanding, Nike did not drop her from her endorsement or whatever. Hopefully, she'll continue to have it. Hopefully, she'll get some management and PR people who can keep her in the limelight, keep and compound a level of celebrity that she's gained thus far, and keep her as the one to watch for the next Olympics 4 years from now. But in the meantime, in between time, y'all, we've got to be careful with this slippery slope of wanting to defy and break rules and wanting exceptions made just because we feel a way about something. Um, the laws need to change. I wish that an exception had been made. I wish that somebody on the anti-doping whatever Olympic committee would have been progressive enough to say, in lieu of this situation, we have reevaluated our stance and we've decided that we are going to remove marijuana from this as a result of XYZ, yada, 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 yada. That would have been the outcome that I would have liked, that I think we all would have liked. But at the end of the day, we have to play by the rules that are current at said time. Um, and it sucks. Oh, I farted, excuse me. Um, it sucks. It sucks. I feel like this young lady was robbed of something. Um, but this is not the end for her. This is not the end for her. And she will go on to be great. Um, I know y'all gonna have a lot to say, so drop that in the comments and let's talk about it. Enjoy your Sunday.